This is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the San Martin SN0054-G-E2. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Lax Denton LD9109, and Grogu is wearing my Benyar BY5187. Grogu said that Ben Solo wrote a play about a married couple who fought all the time, and he called it Who's Afraid of Your Ginger Wookiee? I said, does it end with the reveal that they fight because their son will never come home because he never existed at all? It was just a fantasy she created because they could never have children? He said, no, their son does exist and comes home and kills the dad with some poison Bergen. All right, let's take a look at the watch. And as you can see, they didn't put San Martin on the case. Uh-oh, a little quality control there. And we won't go over all the contents because I know you saw my unboxing video. And here's the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? And of course it's got to be where the hands are covering each other and you can't see the bottom. Oh well, I'll have to move the hands later for this review. But oh, this is a nice looking one. This is another San Martin on my channel. Now that they have more sub $200 watches and I have monetized, I'm trying to include more San Martins on my channel. I'm not really doing it for views, as San Martins have only done just okay when it comes to views. But if I let views alone dictate what watches I review, I probably would just give up and go back to playing more video games. I want to review more San Martins because they're well-made quality watches and it's fun to wear and review them. This is an homage to the Tudor Black Bay Pro, which is in itself an homage to the Rolex Explorer 2 Steve McQueen, which earned its name because Steve McQueen once mentioned he liked the watch but never actually owned it. If any watch was ever nicknamed the Steve McQueen, it should have been the Tag Heuer Monaco, which he made famous in the movie Formula One. When the Explorer 2 first came out, it did not have a GMT movement, as the 24-hour hand was just meant to be an AM/PM indicator in case you were actually using the Explorer 2 for exploring. It might be somewhere without sunlight, such as the cave or the Arctic in the winter. The GMT movement came later. So when Tudor came out with the Pro, they used the same movement as their Black Bay GMT, but used a fixed bezel like the Explorer 2. When I first ordered it, this SN0054 came in two colorways, white or black dial. I do like a white dial, but Tudor only makes a Pro in black, and since the goal was to homage the Pro, I chose the black for a more accurate homage. Each colorway comes in a choice of applied or printed markers. I chose printed because that is what Tudor did. While preparing for this review, I saw that San Martin released 3 more colorways, blue, green, and orange. The watch is 39.9 millimeters at the bezel, and the bezel barely overhangs the case. So I guess that would make the case 39. It's 48.4 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. It's always nice to have inverted end links. It's 12.9 millimeters thick, which sounds kind of thick, but that includes this dome box crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and tapers down to 16. And weighs 139 grams on the supplied steel bracelet with 1 link removed. Yes, I only removed 1 link, but I did move it all the way down the micro adjust. So normally I would have removed 2 links. The bezel is steel and does not rotate. The Black Bay Pro, the bezel is fixed also. And it has the numerals, and the numerals are done in a very fine font, just like the Pro, because the Pro looks more like the first generation of Explorer 2, which had the fine font. The newer generation of Explorer 2 has a much bolder font. Then if you look at the brushwork on the bezel, you can see it's all brushed nice and even with the brushes coming out from in to out. So they did a really good job with the brushwork. And then we have the dial. The dial is a flat black with no sunburst effect. I really like the black. It's nice and deep. Then we have the San Martin logo printed on top. And then it says GMT automatic 100 meters on the bottom. And then we have the chapter ring with the minute markers. And then we have printed indices. You can also get applied. That's an option. Once again, I went with the printed because it looks more like the real Black Bay Pro that way. And then we have the hands. We have the fence post minute hand, the snowflake hour hand, and the snowflake second hand, and the snowflake GMT hand. And the hand is orange, and I think they did a good job with that. And then we have a date at the 3 with no border or cyclops. Then we have a sign screw down crown. The thread action's good. The crown's just a little small. I wish the crown was a bit bigger, because a real Tudor has a really big crown and they're really easy to grip. But the thread action's good, and then when you go to thread it back down or screw it back down, it catches right away. And then we have the crystal. We have a dome sapphire box crystal. Yeah, it sticks out enough where I consider it a box. I don't know if everybody would. And you can see a slight tint of blue because it does have some pretty good AR coating. So I don't know if that's a tint of AR coating or just my lights, but it has AR coating. And as you can see, there's hardly any reflection. They did a really good job with the crystal. You are getting some pretty good quality with the San Martin, even on their budget line. And then we have the case. The case is really nice. We got brushed sides and tops, but we have this polished chamfered edge. And everything's finished really nice. They did a good job with this. And then it's brushed on the bottoms too. I really like the case. Then we have a coin edge case back with no writing. Even a Tudor has actual writing on their case back, even though they're coin edge, but they went with more like the Rolex style because Rolex doesn't write on their case backs. Personally, I don't like coin edge case backs. You need a special tool to open them, and it's just a pain. And I'd much prefer if they would just use regular notches so you could use a normal wrench. And yes, I know a real Tudor has a coin edge case back, but just who cares what the case back looks like when you're homaging something? Just make it nice and easy to use is my preference. And just like the last San Martin Tudor homage I did, you need a 28.3 millimeter tool to open it. Underneath the case back is an NH34 movement. This has become the standard GMT movement for watches in this price range. It came out a couple years ago, and the whole homage industry has embraced it, and it's becoming quite common now. This is basically an NH35 with a GMT complication, and the nice thing about it, unlike the Ronda 515-24, is when you go to set the GMT hand, it sets in hour increments. So it's a lot quicker to set, so you don't have to worry about going too far over and then having to go all the way around again. So that's convenient. Then of course, if you go in the other direction, that sets the date. Once again, this is a collar GMT. This is not a traveler's GMT. A traveler's GMT, you would be moving the hour hand and not having a quick set date. But anyway, they're fairly accurate right off the shelf. The last San Martin I did must have been regulated because it was spot on. So let's see what this one does. Here it is on the Timegrapher, and as you can see, this one's not as accurate as the last San Martin Tudor homage I did not too long ago. That one was running just about spot on. This one's a little fast, +5, +7, which is good though. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And you can see we got some healthy amplitude and no beat error. So that's good too. And the nice thing is it is running fast. So it's a lot easier to set a fast watch than a slow watch because all you have to do is hack the movement and wait for it to catch up when it drifts. But a slow movement, you have to actually move the hands. So I'm happy with this. It's looking good. The bracelet is identical to the last San Martin Tudor homage I did. We have a 3-link oyster style with inverted end links, and the end links are solid, and it's all brush center links. And then we have a fully milled clasp with 4 holes of micro adjust, and this does not have the on the fly adjustment. You don't get that in their budget line. Another thing you don't get in their budget line is you don't get screw pins, you get a pin and collar system. And that is why I only removed 1 link, and I pushed it in all the way in the micro adjust, because I didn't have to remove 2 that way, because it's just difficult using a pin and collar system. Technically, I guess they're more secure than split pins, and you don't have to worry about them coming out on you like screw pins, but they're just more difficult to use. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice, it wears nice. This is a really good looking watch. I think they did a good job with it. I'm very happy with it, very pleased. Once again, though, I think the bracelet could be longer because I only removed 1 link. And yes, I did push it in all the way through the micro adjust, so that's really the equivalent of removing 2 links. But still, if your wrist is bigger than 8 1/4, you're going to need more links. I'm sure San Martin, though, will probably provide more links when you order a watch if you ask for it. I've never tried that, but my friend Joe Hain did that with his octopus. Here we are in the Lume room. The last San Martin Black Bay homage I did had excellent Lume, which was almost as good as my Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. So I have high expectations for this one. As we speed up the time, we see the bright blue glow of BGW9, and everything is looking really good. It's plain to see that the index lume is not quite as strong, but still doing quite well for a watch under $200. I'm perfectly fine with index lume being weaker than the hands, and these hands are excellent. Even the second hand and the GMT hand is keeping up with the major hand lume. Awesome lume indeed. What do I like about this watch? Well, it has really nice looks and wearability. It's really nicely finished. Has inverted end links, has a sapphire crystal with AR coating, excellent lume, and I really like this bezel. I think they did a good job with it. What are my grapes and groans? Pin and collar adjustment. The bracelet could be longer, and it has a coinage case back. Yes, I know the real Tudor has a coinage case back, but just because Tudor does it doesn't mean you have to. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, this watch is awesome. Great looks and wearability with an NH34 movement. If you want an automatic Black Bay Pro homage, you can't go wrong with this. Well, thank you for watching my review of the San Martin SN0054-G-E2, and I will be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested, be sure to check out my Members Choice. And I'll be putting up a Members Choice watch for vote soon. And if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I will get a decent commission on this one. Bye.